Oh, it's very ripply. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name's Trish. I'm one of the best crafters on the internet. According to my mum. Actually, my mum doesn't watch what I do on the internet, so none of my family does. They don't care.
I know you don't love me.
Anyway, today I thought we would do a typical video that we see a lot on the internet, and one I haven't done in a while actually. I think it's been a couple of years, and that's obviously going to a pound shop or a dollar store or whatever cheap shop is in your country, like a Euro store or something. Buying their bits of tat or their bits of things or whatever, upcycling them and turning them into something that may potentially be an improvement. But we're talking about me, so I could easily buy all these things and make them way worse. I honestly have no idea what I want in here, and it's a one-way system too. Someone said help, I'm trapped. Help is on the way! I could totally do something with these. I have no idea what, but I could do something. Where is the homeware? It's cute. Oh my god, bargain, 50 pence. Decorative box. I'm not gonna lie, some of this stuff's a bit more expensive, like £6. I could do something with that though. I could 100% do something with that. I've got an idea for this actually. I'm just gonna carry it around with us now for inspiration. That's cute. I like that as well. I think I might have too many options. I'm gonna need a basket. I think I'm gonna have to go back and get them placemats, even though I have absolutely no idea what I want to do with them. But they've tempted us now. I can't resist. Right, I'm gonna cash up and I'm gonna leave before I spend my entire life savings in here. My god, Poundland is really good at the minute. Not sponsored. I'm back. Obviously, it's 2 different days if you can't tell. It's editing magic.
You're shitting me!
How much did I even spend? I think I spent a lot of money. I spent £35.
I never want to see your face again!
In a pound shop, how does that happen? Because everything's not a pound anymore, it's so rude.
Pretty fucking rude.
So the first thing I thought that I would upcycle was the orange glass vase that I found. So a few weeks ago, I was watching a video of a creator and they were using these things called gallery glass paints. They were glass paints that, I don't know, they just looked way better than normal glass paints I've seen before, and they looked very kind of user-friendly too. So I thought I would try and upcycle this vase into more of like a Tiffany kind of vintagey, stained glass, churchy kind of vibe, if that makes sense.
No.
I've been distracted because Abel's on the landing and the rabbits are outside and now he's crying. They're just rabbits, they're just doing their own thing. Our place is absolutely full of rabbits at the minute. What is wrong? Oh, do you need to come up? Come here then, stinky fat man. There he is. Oh, little stinky fat man. I don't think they've seen you in a while actually, have they? Your brother's been poorly recently though, hasn't he? Kane's got a bad nose and a bad eye. Took him to the vets. Cost lots of money, didn't it? Right, I need to finish recording this video. Are you gonna stop crying at the rabbits outside? Because I'm not letting you out. I'm not letting you eat them. That's not fair. And you'll never catch them anyway. Basically with this vase, I started off by using the leaden part of the gallery glass stuff, which is basically like the lead effect that you see on stained glass windows, but obviously it's not lead and it's not metal or anything, it's just like a paint that dries. Just to create kind of like a border, and I just went around the entire thing, just quite randomly, and just sectioned off little parts of this vase. Once I was happy with that, I just put it to one side to let it dry. The next day I went in with other colours of this glass paint, and I literally just covered the entire thing, all these sections really thickly in this gallery glass paint. Once I was done, it was looking like this, and I just had to trust the process. I just had to trust that this was going to turn transparent and look like a stained glass window. And shall we see my finished stained glass vase? Here it is. It looks quite dark on camera. Obviously you can't really get the full effect, but it's actually really interesting and it's worked so well. I'll put a little video of it in front of some light so you can actually see the full effect and see it to its full potential. And I just think it looks really nice. It actually looks like stained glass. It's surprising. I think if you use some of these glass paints, it's fine to be messy with them. I think you want it to be uneven because then it gives the paint that kind of ripply glass effect. These are really, really good paints. They're quite hard to find in the UK. It's an American brand, I believe, but I would highly recommend them. They're fantastic little glass paints, especially for stained glass stuff. I've turned something that was £6 into something that I think you could easily sell that for £10 maybe. Got a £4 improvement, although I spent way more than £4 on the actual glass paint, so I'm still in the negative. So moving on to the second thing that I thought I would upcycle is this, a gorgeous kind of outdoor light up lantern. It's a solar lantern, and I thought this was quite nice. I think this was quite expensive as well. It was about £5. This is also going to be a very simple upcycle, but one thing I want to do first is glue this bit in because it fell out, because obviously like everything there, you know what, I've just realised that's snapped anyway, so it's probably not going to work.
Excuse me, and you're an adulterer!
That wire is snapped on it, so it's actually, the solar power bit isn't going to work on it. I've just realised. And I don't have a solder thing, and I'm not good with electrics. Alright, well, that was a waste of time. Anyway, what I was going to do, I may as well just do it now. I'm just going to re-glue this back in. And this is the problem I have, mind, with pound shops and stuff. If you're going to increase the price on your stuff, fair enough. But if you're going to increase the price on your stuff, you better believe and you better hope that your products are worth more than £1 and are made better. You can't still sell utter shite that's going to fall apart for more money. That's not allowed. That was the whole point it was a pound shop, because we knew it had the potential to be a bit shit. And anyway, I thought what I would do for this, I bought a bag of artificial vines at Poundland as well. And I thought it would be quite nice just to, like, I don't know, zhuzh this up a bit, add a bit of greenery to it. Ugh. Oh, they stink. They smell like fish. Why do you smell so gross for? Like, really, like, overwhelmingly smell of fish. They actually stink. It smells of fish food. Are you kidding? Oh my god. Whoa. Oh, I don't know what these are made out of or what chemicals on it, but it's not nice. It's quite a strong smell of fish as well. It's almost like someone's opened like a can of tuna around us.
Yum.
Hopefully the smell will die off. I just thought I would just thread it through and just balance it on. It doesn't really matter anyway, because I'm not going to keep this, because obviously it's broken, which is a pain in the ass. But if you just add some like fake greenery to it, I don't know, it could turn it into something a bit more like piratey, couldn't it? Do you reckon? I know it just looks a bit like silly and stuff. Obviously you could zhuzh it up a little bit more and add some more vines, but I just think that adds a little bit more interest to it, doesn't it? And then you could put that outside and it's all like pirate themed. Like if you had like an outside bar, that would be a nice little, I don't know, little touch, wouldn't it? I'm not gonna lie, everything from there is made really, really badly. I was ranting and raving about Poundland. I take it all back, you're a proper shit.
And I hate you.
I still think it's a cool idea. I'll just need to replace the lights, I suppose. So the next thing I decided to part my hard-earned money on was this little chrome teddy money box, which I thought was very cute. However, it was given a little bit too much crushed grey velvet, live, laugh, love kind of home. You know the home that has the chrome hearts? You know the home that has cream carpets? You know the home that is just everything just grey and white? That's what it was given.
Disgusting!
The kind of home that has a like diamante photo frame. That's the vibe it was given, and that's not my vibe at all. I hate that vibe with a passion. So I thought I would get rid of the chrome completely and give this teddy bear a base coat of white. And then I just wanted it to be a little simple object and a little simple idea and turn it quite arty, and decided to use some paw paints and just create like a paw paint teddy bear. And once I was happy with that, I just let it dry. And here we have it, my cute little paw paint teddy bear. I think that looks way better than the chrome version. I absolutely despised the chrome. But yeah, I think that's just a way nicer art object and something I would much prefer to have around my home. Way better than live, laugh, love.
Will you stop swearing at me, please?
So the next object I thought I would try and customise was the little garden gnome, which I thought was very fun, very cute. It had a lot of character, but I feel like it needs, I don't know, just something different. So I removed all the detail from this by giving it a good base coat of white. And now I've got it here. I feel like I want it to be a bit more evil. I think evil's more interesting. Evil's more exciting. And I'm hoping my little paint markers are just going to be able to do this. this. Right, I definitely want some demon blackout eyes. Already looks terrifying. Love it. I'm thinking I want them quite like, I don't know, monochromatic and deathly looking, which isn't really my vibe usually. I like colour and I like colourful things. I'll just see what the gnome inspires us to do. I think that's the best thing. At the end of the day, there's no rules, is there? But I feel a little bit let down with the pound shop. I was very excited when I went there as well, you know, because all the stuff looked really good. And then when you look at it closer up and you actually get a closer inspection of the stuff, it's just like, where on earth did you get all this stuff from? And it's not worth the price that you're actually selling it for. I also might look a little bit tired today, and the reason for that is I've just come off working over 70 hours in the space of a week. And the thing is as well, like, I don't know whether I'm just getting old or not, but it's taken me ages to recover. I'm now on my 3rd day off from obviously working like ridiculous amount of hours together, and I still don't feel like I've fully recovered.
I'm exhausted.
But I have one more day off and then I'm back for another 3 in a row. So hopefully I've woke up by then. I also have a little bit of a house update for you as well. That house I was talking about before with the cellar and stuff. Obviously I viewed it again and blah blah blah. And I put an offer in and it got rejected. And then I put a second offer in, like a little bit of a higher offer, and it also got rejected. So that house is out of the running now. I'm back to the drawing board. The person who was selling that house needs a reality check and needs to realise that that house is not worth the money that they're selling it for in the condition that it's in. Complete piss take, isn't it? I think the housing market and how expensive houses are, it's just a complete and utter piss take. I don't understand when in kind of history and in life house prices just started to absolutely rocket and become completely unaffordable. And I don't understand why we let that happen either. Like, surely we knew that was gonna come about, and it just shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be a luxury to own a home. It should just be one of those things. If you work a minimum wage job or anything like that, you should be able to afford your own house and be able to pay a mortgage and afford bills and all those other things. If you can't, then surely the minimum wage needs to be like more, because it's obviously not covering enough. And what I find funny as well,
I mean, depressing.
is, can you remember during the pandemic?
Here we go.
And we all, you know, realised how important these lower earners were to society and how the world kind of ran and how important they were and stuff like that. It's almost like we've forgotten it, and it's now the big billionaires that are still making a shitload of money and getting tax cuts and stuff, and the people at the very bottom of the pile, they're the ones getting shat on constantly. And I just don't understand why. Especially when we've seen it in action, we know what happens. But never mind, I'm just having a bit of a whinge. Oh, I'm liking you already. I think you look fab. Going to give you a purple beard. That might be controversial. I don't know, but I think you would suit a purple beard. I know it's not necessarily monochromatic, but I think it's gonna kind of go with that ethereal ghost vibe, which is what I'm apparently going for now. Right, I'm kind of liking this grey-green. It says turquoise, but it doesn't look turquoise. And that could be kind of swamp vibes. It's quite green, but I think it works. I think green and purple do look good together as well, don't they? It's just got a lot of painting to be done and a lot of detail to be added. So I think I finished with my gnome's little paint job, and here it is. I think it looks really cool. I'm especially enjoying the detail on the axe with the blood, and I'm thinking this could be kind of like a leg or like a severed arm. But I think that's really cool and really fun. I wish they sold gnomes that looked more like this. Why do they all have to be jolly for? This is the kind of thing I would put on my stair in my new house, just in case the neighbours ever decided that they want to like come over and introduce themselves. I'd be like, no, get away. Stay away from us.
Look at cross off, lads. Send in the shallots.
I'm just joking, okay? I'll be a very open and friendly neighbour.
Thank you for that. I'm a bitch.
Distant neighbour. I'll be a distant neighbour.
Good neighbors become good friends.
As long as they don't bother me, I won't bother them, and they better not bother me. Otherwise I'll send gnome after them. And the final thing I want to make from the objects I got at the pound shop was I fancied a little bit of fashion. I know, check me out. So I've got myself a tablecloth. This was £6. And then obviously I fell in love with the placemats. And I thought I would make myself a very avant-garde capelet.
Fancy.
Do I think I can make an avant-garde capelet? Don't know. Just what I've decided. This is obviously going to be the base. Oh, you get quite a lot of fabric, don't you, for £6? Ugly fabric like, but never mind. Right, let me just fold it in half. I'm wanting this to be circular. Do I know how to make fabric circular? I don't know whether I do. I don't want to measure this or anything. I want this to be quite freehand, and I'm hoping my skills will be good enough for it to just, I don't know, work. So if we want a head hole, I'll say here. That looks like a neck hole, doesn't it? And then, in order to get this circular, I'm just thinking, start here. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want like a rough cut. Perfect, loving that. No, that can't be right. Because if we look at that, my shoulders aren't that big, and that's going to be too much. So that needs cutting down, I think. Hang on, I'm just trying to imagine a capelet.
Ooh. Oh, look at me, make your ripples.
Yeah, this is feeling very moo-moo. Right, so it needs cutting down further. I know me and fashion and me and sewing haven't been going very well together at the minute, but I don't know, I'm feeling like this fashionable capelet is going to rescue the day and put me in a very good mood.
Poor thing, bless her heart.
Okay, that's feeling more capelet, isn't it? Oh yeah. Because I want these ends to look half decent, I'm going to have to flip them up and we're going to do, yeah. We'll do that. I think I can just freehand this, you know, instead of clipping everything together. I think clipping everything together is going to be a bit of an arse on. Shall I leave the neck like that though? That's a bit different, isn't it? It's a bit rough though. I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to hem all the edge first and then we'll see how I feel. Okay, surprisingly, I don't think that went too bad actually. My machine didn't de-thread itself or anything. Oh, it's very puckered. You know what? It adds texture. It adds so much texture to my avant-garde capelet. It's very textured. Oh, it's very ripply. That's what you get for not measuring, but that's fine. Do I want to do the neck hole? I think the neck hole's a bit rough, so it probably makes sense to do the neck hole. Also, by the way, sewing circular things is quite difficult, but my machine's behaving today. This has got nothing to do with the machine, the fact that this sewing bad, it's just everything to do with me. I'm gonna have to clip this collar bit because it's gonna move everywhere, I can already tell. There we go, that was fine. That was actually quite easy. The thing is, because I'm making an avant-garde capelet, I think as soon as you use the word avant-garde, just like abstract, it gives you the excuse to be a little bit messy, and if things don't look right, then you can just say that was part of the plan.
Genius.
Let me just have a little quick look at my gorgeous capelet for now. Oh, you're looking rough. So I've just tried my little capelet on, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little bit...
Shit.
It looks different. It looks very different and not what I was expecting. But that's fine. That's okay. I like a surprise. And anyway, I do have a lot of these placemats, and I was going to be a bit more ambitious with it. However, as I've tried it on and looked at the state of it, I thought what would be quite nice is if we just find the shoulder parts. I thought sewing 2 of these on either side of here to do like a, ooh, shoulder pad moment. I think that'll be nice, and that's what I want. Also, I've bought a curved needle. Some of you has recommended these to us at one point when I was doing something, and I think they'll actually come in quite handy for things that are just a little bit tricky to sew. Ah, this is clever. Oh, this makes sewing so much easier, doesn't it? I feel like this is going to be quite a messy bit of sewing, which doesn't really bode well for the next episode of Sewing Machine Adventures, because I'll give you a little hint. It's a very ambitious episode and something I'm quite worried about, which says a lot considering I just did that stupid pattern thing. This next one, I don't even want to start it because I know it's going to be a disaster. I don't want it to be a disaster, but I know it's going to be a disaster.
Pregnant witch. Big bowl of sawdust. Feathered asses. Bridesmaids under the sea.
Right, I think I'm done with my avant-garde, super stylish, fashionable, fashion-forward capelet. So I'm going to try this on and then I'll give you a little show. So, what do we think? Oh my god, look at that. Look at that slit right to the top. Whoa! I didn't realise I was going to have a big slit. I thought it was going to kind of, I don't know, be a bit more like nipped in. I suppose I could sew these bits a bit closed, couldn't I? But I kind of like the access. Loving these parts. These are just a bit like, bit different, aren't they? I don't know, it feels a bit frumpy. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm wearing a tablecloth. That's what I feel like I'm wearing. It should have been shorter. I feel like it should have been up here, and then that would have given more kind of capelet, wouldn't it? But that's like a vibe, isn't it? Isn't that different? Oh, I could do short at the front and then long at the back. Oh, look at that. Oh, I could tie it. Wait there. Oh my god, this could be a multifunctional capelet. What do we think of that? Ooh. Is it just me, or is that interesting? It's just me, isn't it? That's fine, I don't mind. I just like making things that, I don't know, just don't exist. I don't feel like this exists. And if it does, it shouldn't. This isn't what I envisioned, believe it or not, but I'm into it. I feel like a superhero. What would my superhero name be? Dinner Man. Because obviously dinner plates. Dinner Man? That could be cool. Picnic Boy. That could be interesting, couldn't it? Fighting crime with my picnic abilities. Yeah. Someone needs to write a comic book about Picnic Boy, okay? I'll be the main person, you know, I don't mind. He's a crafter by day, and then he's a, I don't know, vigilante by night, fighting with like spoons and forks. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I think that just about does it for today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And Picnic Boy, we'll see you next week for a brand new video. I think I've done rather well today, actually. My gnome and my stained glass vase, I think they're the best. Although Picnic Boy, I don't know. I think we're going to be talking about Picnic Boy for a while, aren't we? Unfortunately.